Hello, gorgeous Pisces, and welcome to September 2020 and our discussion around some really big energy moving through September. This month is really unique for you all. There's a couple things going on that I think are extremely powerful. First and foremost, it's Virgo season. So the sun is in the opposing sign of Pisces, which is always a time of recalibration, of reinvention, of just kind of taking some time to look over the last 6 months, get rebalanced, get acquainted with who you've become since Pisces season. And of course, September is also the month of the equinox, and I'm big on the equinox. I think this is a huge point in time where we can really find our equilibrium, get into deeper alignment again, find that balancing point that the equinox does represent, and tap into some deep wisdom. It's such a beautiful time of transformation. And of course, even though we have Virgo season most of the month, when we do hit into the equinox on the 22nd and the sun moves into Libra, we're also moving into your 8th house energy at the end of the month. And we will be having a Mercury retrograde moving through Scorpio and Libra this coming fall. That's not going to really hit until October. But, you have some transformational energy going on here. Finally, there's a couple other big things. We have a full moon in your sign right out of the gate, September 2nd. We're going to be sitting with Piscean energy, sitting with the expansiveness of your energy, opening our hearts to that ascension. So this is going to be a really great moon, once again, to reflect, to balance, to reconnect with yourself, to reconnect with your path and what you are feeling is coming up for you, to just sit in communion with yourself. The other thing that's happening, and this will be a theme that we're going to keep tapping into for the rest of 2020 for you all, Mars is beginning his retrograde on the 9th of September in Aries, and this is your 2nd house. So this has everything to do with self-worth, abundance, anywhere where you want to feel blocked or you are feeling a little bit like you want to close down. This Mars retrograde is really going to help you to recalibrate there. To reconsider anywhere areas where you maybe have your prickly armor on, to keep yourself safe from this world. There's going to be a huge dialogue going on there. And so you're going to be noticing those themes starting to surge up during this month as well, where you're thinking about how you self-protect and what works for you there and what does not, and what's actually kind of keeping you imprisoned or held back from what it is you truly want in this life, where you want to really find connection, where you want to really find peace and love, where you feel maybe a little nervous to open yourselves up. Because if there's one thing I've learned about Piscean energy over the years is that you all are beautiful people with the most beautiful hearts, curious, inventive, creative, but you also really want to protect yourselves. So you come up with some really interesting mechanisms to do that. You're very good at coming off as strong, as sarcastic, as put together, as not needing any help. And every one of you is going to be different, obviously. I can't speak to every single one of you, but those are just some of the ones that I have noticed in the Pisceans closest to me. And so this Mars transit's big for all of that, I think. And this month as well. This is a month of, I've been talking about this month, and the more I look into it and the more I work with this energy, the more this is a month of devotion, a month of healing, a month of realignment, a month of getting back in touch with our true nature again. And that coming about via kind of the soft, slow integration back to ourselves, right? Coming back home to ourselves, where maybe we've been feeling fractured. Maybe we've been feeling spread a little bit thin with everything going on in the world. Coming back home to ourselves. The idea of the Virgin, right? Virgo season, and the image of the goddess and the Virgin is very tied actually not to anything sexual, but is tied to that wholeness in self, right? That being that feels fully connected. And that is what's so beautiful. And because you are Pisceans, you are already tapped into this knowledge and this wisdom. You're the other half of this axis that discusses that, right? And you're tapped into the big union of self with the big beingness of the world, right? So this is a beautiful time. The other thing that's really interesting going on this month is that both Jupiter and Saturn in the course of the month are going direct in Capricorn. This is exciting because it means that over the next few months, September, October, November, we're closing out the Jupiter and Saturn transits in Capricorn. And we're moving on. And so we're also getting into territory this month. And you'll be noticing this, especially as this is working in your 11th house of your community, your friends, that those lessons are starting to come full circle. 2 cards wanted to come out, and I'm loving them. 5 of Wands and Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. This is a time of culmination and deeper understanding of what it is we've learned in the last 6 months since the last equinox. And for you all, this has a lot to do with worthiness. Letting the love in, right? Expanding open to that. And that was the note that came up for me. This is a month that is going to ask you, can you welcome in greater harmony? 10 of Wands. There's that shell. There's that protective armor. There's those spikes that keep you safe. So they claim. The Lovers. Ooh. Very interesting. Let's pull one more card and we'll talk through this. Yeah, this is a month to question the armor though. And, just figure out, what parts of that are working for you. Maybe some of them do. We all need our mechanisms to find inner peace and tranquility when we're trying to get through something difficult. But which ones are keeping you locked away from what it is you really want? 8 of Pentacles. Okay, I love this month's cards for you all. These are really beautiful. There's a lot of energy here that's saying there's nothing to stop you from moving forward. Other than there's one detail that has to do with how you hold yourself alone and feel like you have to hold things on your own that we're going to be talking about with that 10 of Wands. But right out of the gate, you all, you have forward motion. This is a full moon in Pisces, and I think Virgo season is actually a really great time for you in the year because it's very supportive of you. It's very in flow with you. It helps you see things from new vantage points. It helps you come up with new ideas. It helps you ground a little bit, take that Neptunian energy and ground into the earth and figure out ways that you want to use your energy. It's a really great time for you. And there's a lot of forward motion. There's a lot of clarity that can come from this time. And interestingly enough, even though Mars is going retrograde, and I will be getting much more into Mars specifically and all the details around the healing and that transit on my Patreon, but, Mars is often associated with a lack of willpower or drive when he's retrograde because, that's when he's forward, that's getting things done. And when he's retrograde, a lot of times people feel, oh, maybe I won't be able to get anything done during this time. But the thing is that we're releasing resistance, right? It's not about forcing things to happen. It's about allowing things to happen and welcoming them in. And for you, there's some kind of triumphant opening going on here where you're moving forward in life. You're moving forward into the next phase. You're moving into new territory. The 6 of Wands is a card of triumph, so it's leaving something behind, right? 6 levels us into the next thing. It's past the fight. It's past the battle. It's past the sorrow. It's what happens after we've come through something hard. It's when the fog clears and we start to see where it is we're going. And it's very much blessed here with this Ace of Pentacles, which is that infusion of help, of support, of practical, grounded love that helps you move forward in life, right? So these two are just kind of like the wind at your back, just pushing you forward. There's something about these cards that are telling me, you can't relive the past over and over again. This month is going to say, that's not interesting right now. That's not the question we want you to ask. We want you to take a moment on this vantage point, in this equinox time, in this Virgo time, in this Libra time, to take a moment to look out over the landscape ahead of you. Don't look back. What is it that you want moving forward now? And that's where the question this 10 of Wands brings up, right? Because 10 of Wands is, yes, this is a self-sufficiency card. And the positive side of this energy is that you can indeed pick it up, make it happen, right? It's possible. But this card is almost always an invitation to put something down. Because this is unsustainable. This is not the way that we live, a connected, loving life, right? This is when, and we all have this. I know I have gotten into this modality many times in my life, where you just say, okay, like I'm feeling sensitive about this. I'm feeling overwhelmed, but you know what? Like I just need to make this work. So I'm just going to pick up this stuff. I'm not going to let others know that I need help. I'm just going to make it happen. The Ten of Wands is also the end of an energetic cycle, right? It's the closeout of something. It's the ending of something. And it's an invitation to let go. Now, this does have to do with, like I was saying, those mechanisms that you maybe have developed over your lifetime because you're sensitive, because you feel things deeply, because you're tapped in so deeply. You develop ways to look as though you're normal. You develop ways to seem like you can't get hurt and like you can just make it happen. And you can. You can make those things happen. You can be self-sufficient. You absolutely can. But what is serving you? What do you really want to be carrying forward? So there is a moment here, of being invited to look forward. Look completely forward. Be visionary to the future. And it does require putting something down. It doesn't have to be dramatic things. Sometimes it's just a thought pattern we have to put down. Sometimes it's a friendship. We need to just take a breath. Sometimes it's a routine. It's going to be different for everyone. Now, here's the thing on the other side of that letting go. Love and work. Both. Not just one, Pisces. Both. Now, what I love about the Lovers is this is connection, right? It's not just about, yes, if you are looking to connect, I always, whenever we have the sun in our opposing sign, it's always a great time for connection, a great time for communication, a great time for love and harmony. But the Lovers has so much to do with communication, with conversation, with connecting deeply with something that serves you, with finding your voice, finding liberation here in your throat, being able to speak what's true for you and to find communion with others that feel similarly and can help you. It's about building a bridge, right? And so the Lovers is about deep connection. And that's on the other side of that Ten of Wands. And Eight of Pentacles is that consistent showing up to the table of life, right? I love Eight of Pentacles because for me, this is saying you're going to get results this month, right? You have a lot of energy that is on your side. You have a lot of energy that is on your side that wants you to move forward, that wants you to focus on what is possible from this point forward, from that full moon forward, what is possible. But, it's not requiring you to just float around and hope for something nice. The Eight of Pentacles is like, yeah, you're going to keep showing up this month. You're going to keep showing up. You're going to keep having conversations. You're going to keep trying to do things. You're going to keep adjusting. And what's going to come from that is huge results, a huge graduation into the next phase of your life. So keep at it during September. And we're not talking about forcing things or being, overworking yourself. There's a big difference between Ten of Wands and Eight of Pentacles, right? Huge difference between these two. One is about forcing work, right? Forcing yourself, overburdening, carrying an untenable amount of weight. And wondering why you feel so frustrated and why you can't get things done, compared to the Eight of Pentacles, which is about paying attention to the details, taking your time, doing something right, not forcing, and big results coming from that, right? So there's a huge conversation going on around that, and that can have to do with love, that can have to do with work, that can have to do with any aspect of your life. To remember to come back to that Eight of Pentacles modality is going to be huge. And like I said, this month is interesting for you all with the cards because the Six of Wands really tells me that there's a battle, there's a grief, there's a loss, there's a frustration that you're being asked to leave behind this month very thoroughly. You don't have to go over it anymore. You don't have to relive it anymore. You don't have to be in it anymore. This is about something very different, a very different flavor of life coming in for you from what maybe you've been working with the last 6 months, the last couple of years, honestly. So keep that in mind. And I have an invocation to share with you, a little prayer, a little well wish, a little affirmation to take with you as we work with equinox energy and also Mars retrograde energy, and the beginning of the end of Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn. So this is all for this transitional, powerful month where we are bookending, we are closing out, we are coming full circle. Here is my invocation for you, Pisces. May I take deep breaths and release the armor and the weight. May I find harmony in letting go and embracing what fills me with light and curiosity. May I see the road with new eyes. May I forgive who I have been and allow for who I am becoming to take over. May I forgive who I have been. May I love who I have been, right? That's so powerful. Oh, and I love how I sat down and I felt through that prayer and that invocation a couple of days ago as I was sitting with your energy. And I love that these cards are also speaking to that, to letting the armor fall away, letting the past fall away, and opening up. You have so much supportive energy here that it's just saying, go for it, open up. You can, you're allowed to stand at this vista and move forward. I will be diving so much more deeply into Mars retrograde over on Patreon. We also do our weekly discussions. It's a beautiful little community. If you're looking for support and guidance during this intense year, I'd love to see you there. And for those of you who are already with me, oh my gosh, thank you for being there. I love you so much. You can also find me on my Instagram and my website. I'll leave all my links below. And of course, I'm wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry. She's always got something up her sleeve. So if you're looking for something beautiful and grounded and heart-centered, she's a great place to go. I'll leave her Etsy shop below. I will see you all in October for more transformation in the Piscean world. Yes, it's going to be a powerful time. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you soon.